Here we are again, folks. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. So proud to be with you another day. We have approximately 9 minutes and a little bit better. And we are in the 6th chapter of Genesis today. We had come through the other 5 chapters in about 14 of these excerpts. And this one today is going to be on, it repented the Lord that he had made the earth. In chapter 6 and verse 5, and God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Now let's remember, God looks on the heart. Man looks on the outside of man. He judges man from the outside. He thinks everything that man does is from the outside. But God looks on the inside. He looks at the heart. Do you know, I know some people that have got absolutely perfect hearts, excellent hearts, but they have a lot of problems with their outside standings and the things that they do. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. So we see that God has a heart. And we see here that it grieved him that man would not listen to what he said. God said, I want you to follow me. Because remember now, the big battle is where the devil's here now on the earth at that time. He still is, by the way, and he still is in the battle, and he is still fighting. Verse 7, and the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowl of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Now, God's up there in heaven, and he's looking around, and he can't find a heart that is after him. Everything has become evil. By the way, we're headed back that way right now. The Bible said as it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, so it's going to be when the days of the coming of the Son of Man comes. So let's read verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. There are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with God. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, the perfectness of Noah was that he was righteous in his generation. And there were 7 generations up to now, and Noah was the 7th from Adam. And it's time for God to come and take a look. God had not looked on the earth for a while. He had other things to do. God has other things besides the earth. Not that he couldn't take care of everything all at one time. But he had left for a little while. And the whole earth had left him. And the earth also was corrupt before God. And the earth was filled with violence. Verse 12, and God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. But Noah didn't particularly like that idea, so he had a little talk with God and said, God, will you make another way rather than to destroy this time? And let's try again, or let's do it again, and let's make a new people and have a new start over. Make thee an ark. God's telling Noah now in verse 14, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within. and pitch it without. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of it shall be 300 cubits, the breadth shall be 50 cubits, and the height shall be 30 cubits. Figuring out at 25 inches per cubit, the ark would be 625 feet long, would be 104 feet wide, would be 62.5 inches high, 62.5 feet tall. And put a window thou shalt make in the ark, and a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou build it. Now he's going to build a 3-story ark, 62.5 feet high, and he's going to build it 625 feet long and 104 feet wide. Who's going to help him? Who's going to help him? Well, we read here not too long ago that Noah had a bunch of children, and that Noah had quite a crew. And on top of that, even though those other people thought that Noah was foolish, they needed to eat. So I'm sure they brought Noah logs, and he paid them along the way. And God made a way for him to pay them. Noah undoubtedly was not a poor man either. And behold, he said, 17, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh wherein there is breath of life from under heaven. And everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, verse 18, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all the flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of the fowls after their kind, of the cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing after its kind. 2 of every sort shall come into thee, to keep them alive. Now, 2 of every kind is going to come unto him. God's going to send them over there. God said, I'm going to send 2 of every kind over here to see you. And take thou thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Now, before I start in the rest of that chapter, which will be chapter 7, we're going to start a new chapter. But before I start, let me say something to you. God never used a lazy man to do anything. He never asked a lazy man to do anything. He said, take this food in there and store it, and put it up. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to be on the water, or they're going to be out there after God closes the door. By the way, God said, bring them in. So God was in the ark, and God shut the door when they got in there. So God was in the ark. But remember, Noah and his family had to feed those animals for 1 year and 17 days. For 1 year and 17 days before that door was opened, they were in that ark. And Noah and his family had to feed and take care of those animals. Another thing we need to notice right here, that he took 2, a male and a female, of each animal. They were pairs. He took a pair of each to reappropriate. Listen, there never was an odd couple in the ark. There wasn't one odd couple, and there wasn't any plans for any odd couples. The plan is to replenish the earth, to reappropriate And